and welcome to the Holly Meredith Show. Thank you so much for joining me. We've had a short, brief hiatus over the last couple of weeks just because I needed a little time off because I get so involved, as you know. And in that very short period of time, many incredible things have happened in our country, most of them bad. So let's cut to a few things, but before we go there, I want to inebriate you. That's a good word for you. I want to inebriate you with something that happened to me today. I like to give you little vignettes about life in America as I experience it. Today, I was attempting to get some gasoline for my vehicle. I'm driving up and down Okeechobee Road, which is close to where I live, and I go to my usual Shell station because it's so convenient and close, and I pull in to get my gasoline. I go inside because I needed something else. I pay the girl who's the cashier $30 for my gasoline, which should fill up the tank. And standing in front of her is a 2-foot-tall pygmy, obviously from Peru, jabbering away in Spanish, which, by the way, I understand. I understand every word they were jabbering away in. They don't know that I do, but I do. Jabbering away in Spanish to the cashier. The entire inside of this building was packed with people from all around the country. If you went outside and looked at their license plates, you would see Ohio, Illinois, California, Massachusetts. I hope they go back home. And all around the country, these people are there looking for why they parked there to begin with, gasoline. Meanwhile, back at the cashier, we're having the Peruvian give her a long dissertation on why her EBT card, her welfare card, has already been used up and she needs more money. How can she get more money put on her welfare card before it's due? Yes, that was this morning's conversation on Okeechobee, in Palm Beach, in Florida, in the United States, by a Peruvian who no doubt does not belong here, but has a welfare card using your taxpayer dollars. I lost my temper, as I'm prone to do, and I said, step it up already. We're here to get gasoline, not listen to your song and dance routine. At which point in time, the Peruvian turned, who obviously does understand English, and gave me a nasty, withering look, which I returned in full. I actually went back outside, now that everything was under control. I went back outside to start putting gasoline in my car, and lo and behold, the pump didn't work. So I trekked back into the inside of the station where she's still having her ongoing conversation with the Peruvian while everybody else stands around and looks stupid. So I yelled at her, and I do mean I yelled at her. Hey, you, dopey, behind the cash register, get the manager. She went as slowly as molasses coming out of a jar, but she finally went and got the manager one step above her. I said, I can't get any gasoline out of your pump. So he walked out behind me, tried to get the pump to work for about 5 useless minutes, looked at me and said, the pump doesn't work. I'm not making this up. I said, no, it doesn't. That's why I came in to get you. And then he goes back inside the building and goes behind the register and punches a big red button that has reset on it. Yes, it did. So I said, sir, what does that mean? He said, none of the pumps are working. Now we have to reset all the pumps. Now I've already been there almost 15 minutes throughout the debacle of the Peruvian woman trying to rob American taxpayers even more than they're already doing. So again, my temper was frayed at this point. So I'm shouting at the top of my lungs, which I am prone to do. I want some goddamn gas in my goddamn pump and I want it now. When will you be able to have gasoline in the pumps? As I live and breathe and I'm sitting here was his answer. I don't know. At that point in time, the entire building emptied out of all the people from around the country of America who were trying to get gasoline. Good for them, time to move on. And I demanded my $30 back, which I got. And I got back in my car and drove down the road to go to a different station to get gasoline for my car in America in 2014. I pull into another station that I do not use because it is run by a Muslim nutcase. And as I decided only once I will come in here because I need gasoline against my better judgment, I go through the door of this station, I look to the right, and there at the cashier station is an absolute monstrosity. There is a woman there, if you can call it that, I believe it was a woman, with a bird cage on its head. It had this big black wire mesh stuff all over its head, where its head would be if you thought it had a head. It looked like it should star in Defiance or Falling Sky. This was behind the cash register. I wish I had a camera. I wish I could take a picture of the bird cage behind the cashier station at this station on Okeechobee in West Palm Beach in America in 2014. I immediately went, no way, turned my little self around, back up to my car again, and out onto the highway I go. Trekking down Okeechobee in search of a gas station that's actually a gas station. Now I go to pull into another one, and standing in front of the pumps, I kid you not, are 3 Negro thugs who obviously are standing there waiting for some poor hapless soul to get out of their vehicle so they can see what your numbers are, or they can hold you up for your card. Because as I put on Facebook yesterday, a friend of mine was assaulted in a Walmart parking lot because a thug, we all know who they are, grabbed his cell phone, and when he tried to get his cell phone back, the thug ran over him. My friend is elderly and not in good condition health-wise. So now he has a broken hip thanks to this piece of human garbage. So now I'm already a little nervous as I drive into certain areas, wondering what the hell is going to happen now. So now I don't pull into that station. I do a U-turn in the middle of Okeechobee in West Palm Beach in Florida in America in 2014. And I come back up the highway, back towards where I started from, and I pull into another weird little Hess station where almost all of the station pumps have yellow on them, which means they don't work. They've got the yellow plastic over them. So now I'm completely discombobulated because, hey, I need gasoline, of which we have more than any other country in the world. But of course, we don't get to use it. So now I see, as I glance to the left, I see a Hess station that looks actually like a functioning gas station, the way they used to be before Pakistan took over. So I drive into the gas station, and yes, lo and behold, the pumps are working. I go into this one, I give her the money, she says thank you, I come back out, and as I'm coming into the station to begin with, there is a Negro man coming out who actually spit at me. He spit at me. Now, had I been thinking coherently, I would have spit right back. Because I am not an elderly and poor health little old man you can run over. Better back it up really fast. But he spit at me. Now, after I calmed down, he was already gone. Lucky for him. I'm just giving you a recitation of how difficult it is today to get gas for your car on Okeechobee, in West Palm Beach, in Florida, in America, in 2014. This is diversity at its best. And this is why diversity has to go. And everybody who's pushing that crap down America's throat has to go right along with it. All of this stuff is 100% bull. You know the word. I'm going to my first break. This is Holly Meredith. I'll calm down a little bit, not really.
Hi there, I'm Annie from Addictions Clothing. Welcome to my store. I have been in business many years. I have an eclectic variety of clothing for all sizes, all ages. We are moderately priced and we're currently in our annual sale. We would hope that you come and find lots of goodies because you won't be able to beat our prices. They're unbelievable. And our hours are from 10 to 4, Tuesday through Friday, or Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 4. And this is Nicholas. He works here on Wednesdays. He has good times with the customers and he entertains the customers as well.
Hello, good morning. I'm Ray Flo. This is my storage, Lake Worth Storage. We've been here, I guess, about 8 years. It's been great. Love Florida, love the storage business. I was meant for this business. Come with me. We'll go inside. And here's the fantastic staff. Mr. Josh runs it. Hello, Josh.
Hello.
And the quiet one. Look here, Marge. Look this way. Look this way. There you go. All right. So, well, there is a lot to run in the storage. There is no silver bullet to make it successful. We've been very successful. So, you got to have a few things, you know. You got to have, of course, the price has got to be right. You got to have a nice staff, congenial people. We have that. Place has to be clean. We have that. And we have to treat people with dignity and very nicely, and we do that. So we've got, you know, the price, the staff. We've been here a long time. We got a good record. Above all, though, it really should be secure. And we have very little problems with that here. We're very secure. We've got 14 cameras there and some more here. So yeah, we're set for the public. We're set up. Excellent.
Hi, and welcome back to the Holly Meredith Show. I have so many things to tell you about. I don't have enough time in one show. That's why you need to subscribe to the show and hear the truth, because on this show there will be no political correctness, ever. I will say it exactly as it is. It will not be buffered in any way or in any shape or in any context. It will be the unadulterated, in-your-face truth. Subscribe to the show on YouTube. It is free to you, and you will get an automatic show every week. And you can feel proud of yourself because you are supporting a true American who really is in favor of the country coming back to what we were and is willing to stand up and take the flak for it, as you should be as well. Onward and upward in search of the ice cream truck man. Yes, we now have a president who could stand in as your local ice cream truck driver. He appeared on television to do a press release about what's going on with ISIL, whatever you want to call it. He chooses to call it the less defamatory name. But whatever it is you want to call it, they are crazy Muslim Islamist terrorists who behead people. You can call them anything you want, but at the end of the day, they're crazy Muslims. That's what they are. There is no peaceful Muslim religion. What a crock. There are no peaceful Muslims because the very people who never open their mouth are being just as dangerous and inflammatory as the ones who are beheading everybody, because they are tacitly agreeing with the beheading by not saying anything against it. There are no peaceful Muslims. They are members of the army of the Islamic Jihad. As I have told you till I'm nauseated at the thought, these people need to be eradicated like the cockroaches that they are. And I mean eradicated. Man, woman, child, baby, ready to pop out. Whatever! Just as if you could take a giant can of Raid and spray it out of a helicopter over the entire area and keep on spraying until nothing moved. That is the only way that this world that we now live in is going to be able to move forward in safety. And while I'm talking about the Muslims, while I'm talking about them, I want them off our goddamn planes. I want this nonsense with the TSA where they pat down Americans, your private parts, where they take pictures of your boobs, where they're all over ancient people and babies. Knock it off. What a bunch of perverts. They haven't stopped one problem. Just don't let Muslims ever fly on our airplanes anywhere. And that includes, by the way, the Saudi Arabians who are allowed to fly into our airspace without even checking. Thank you, Obama, you Muslim, whatever it is you are. Without even checking now, he's done that for them. Saudi Arabians can fly in and out of our country anytime they want to, and they don't even have to get clearance. Make you feel better? Feel a little safer because of that? I don't think you should feel safe at all. We're not allowed to do that, and yet the Saudi Arabians are allowed to do that. Back to the ice cream truck man. Yesterday we had a press conference with our whatever. I call him dear leader. You can call him. Don't even call him. Let's just not call him. Maybe if we don't call him, he'll disappear. Yesterday in his press conference, he appeared in a tan ice cream truck suit man. That's what he looked like. He looked ridiculous. He looked absurd. He is both of those things, but yesterday he really looked it. He's not just in front of the press corps. He's not just in front of his adoring fans. He's not just in front of the country of America. Newsflash to leader of the free world dot. When you do a press conference, everything you say and do is on everybody's screen worldwide. So we had the debacle of the ice cream truck man representing America, and he was embarrassing. He was embarrassing in every way. As usual, he came out and said nothing. He had gobbledygook for the entire time. Nothing, nothing, and more nothing. As compared to David Cameron, who runs England at the moment, who actually had come out not too previously to that speech and told the people of England that he was going to do everything in his power to stop ISIS and or ISIL, including, but not limited to, taking away the passports of the British citizens that are now real Muslim terrorists. Not that you couldn't have seen that 30 years ago it was coming. He is going to do that, and they are going to be tracked and traced, and once they leave the country, they're not going to be allowed back in. Wow! Remember the Sarnia brothers up there in Massachusetts who came back and forth about 15 times, and even though they were red flagged because they were Muslims, they were allowed to keep going back and forth until they blew the living crap out of quite a few people at the marathon. Remember that? Yeah, I remember that too. Just to be clear again, here's where we are in America today. We have an ice cream truck man masquerading as your president. We have a Congress that is missing in action, a true MIA Congress. Nobody wants to be responsible for anything. I have a suggestion to anybody listening to me. If you get a chance to vote, and by the way, if you don't vote, you should be thrown out of the country. If you get a chance to vote for any of these misbegotten nitwits that are in our Senate at the moment, and you don't vote to kick their butts out of there, then you deserve what we are getting. You've earned it. And what we are getting is going to be absolute, unbelievable hell on earth. Because this facade, this fabrication, this charade, this muppet sitting in our White House is doing all of that to this country on purpose. Let us not forget all of those illegal brats that traipsed across the border. They're not even children. In Massachusetts, they are enrolling in public school as of yesterday. They are enrolling in public school people who are in their 40s. In their 40s! And they've been told, both by our Department of Education Secretary, and by Holder, the Department of Justice, they've been told they cannot ask them their ages. They cannot ask them for their vaccination records. Hello? You try as an American citizen to enroll your child in school without the vaccination records. They won't admit you. Give it a shot. Make a go of it. And see just how much of a travesty the ice cream truck man is making of America and our laws. I'm going to another break, and I know you can't wait to get back.
Hello and welcome to New York Nails and Skin Salon, located on beautiful Linton Boulevard in downtown Delray Beach. This salon is open 7 days a week. Yes, 7 days. If you need the finest skincare and the finest manicures and pedicures that you can get, you want to call Linda at 561-274-7470. I want to say it to you one more time, 7 days a week. The finest skincare and nail care that you can get. Give her a call. Once again, it's New York Nails, and the number is 561-274-7470.
Hello, and welcome back to all of you devoted people who like to know what's really going on, because you know from me you're going to know. Coming up in the next 3 to 4 weeks, we're going to have a very interesting time to be living in, and you know that's what you want to be living in, interesting times. Our dear leader is definitely going to do something which will throw the country into a constitutional crisis, but he's going to do it on purpose. If you haven't figured out by now that he hates this country, that he loathes Americans, that he despises white people, then you live under a rock. Because he hates this country, he hates Americans, and he loathes white people. Probably because he didn't end up being one. So here we are with a man in charge of the country who is actively anti everything about America, including you. We have running around the country at the moment somewhere in excess of 18 million illegals. The reason you don't get told the right figure is because it would be frightening to people. So they try to downplay it to you, our feds do. They try to tell you it's only 11 million and maybe they're only going to let the dreamers be legal. They have no right to let any of them be legal. Illegal is illegal, is illegal, is illegal, is illegal. This creature is planning to automatically, with a wave of his executive wand, make up to 5 million illegals currently in the country citizens. That's a little bit different than granting them amnesty. Because in his little plan, the automatic granting of amnesty includes, as I said more than a year and a half ago, includes provisional citizenship, which grants them all the rights of a regular citizen. However, you get to pay the bill. If he does this, a constitutional crisis will occur because it is so outside the realm of constitutionality. It palls Obamacare, which was completely unconstitutional. This one is a country killer. If this creature is allowed to perpetrate upon the country of America a minimum of 5 million people who will be automatic citizens with all of the rights thereof, they will immediately be allowed to increase all of their family members into the country. That goes along with it, meaning they get to stay here. They can automatically have their mothers, their uncles, their brothers, their children, their cousins, their aunts, their uncles, their whatever. All of those people can come too. And if that happens, the United States of America will cease to be. We will cease to exist as a country. Because the rule of law, which for 238 years has been observed in this country by the government, at least face value, will no longer be in place. You will now have a de facto dictatorship operated by martial law, just as they do in South America every day. And if you don't agree with it, you'll disappear in the middle of the night, just as they do in South America and Central America and Mexico every day. The most incredible, wonderful country the world has ever known, based on the idea of individual freedom, will come to a bloody halt. This is his plan. This is what his whole idea of being president was about. To bring America to its knees. And he has almost accomplished that. So in the next 3 to 4 weeks, as things persevere, I will be saying even more on my show as things happen, because you will not hear about it on your mainstream media, because they put him there. For whatever reasons known only to these creatures, this is what they want. This is what they want. If you ever heard of Cloward Piven, my producer just reminded me of it. Get the damn book. 2 arch-communist Jews. Cloward Piven. Why do people not like Jews? Well, let me give you a couple thousand years. This is where we are. And this is how we got here. And this is who's responsible for putting us here. Now, we don't have to tolerate it and we don't have to allow it, but we have to be very careful. We cannot allow this demented creature to do this to us. Although they're going to try and push our Congress, that's you and me, they're going to try to push us into putting him into some kind of ass-backwards impeachment. Impeachment's not what he deserves. He deserves treason. He is guilty of mass acts of treason on a daily basis. I'm getting ready to come to the end of my show. I'm telling you all of these things for a reason. You will never, as I say, hear it on MSNBC. By the way, a White House staff member is marrying one of the commentators on MSNBC this week. Yes, so you can really see they're kind of intertwined, intertwingled, all total up together. You will never hear the truth from them. You will never hear the truth from NPR. You will never hear the truth in CBS or ABC or NBC or the AP or the New York Times. All of them run by the same group of people who have put it into our White House. So they're not going to say anything bad about him. And the less you know about him, the better. That's why all of his records are sealed. And they're sealed because he's no genius. He's no A-plus student. I don't believe he ever taught anything other than how to put marijuana together in his bong somewhere. That's about as much as he's capable of doing. So now we're back to the ice cream truck man. I want you to look at the pictures of him yesterday as they saw him all over the world being flubbed because he wasn't on his teleprompter, so he couldn't read. He couldn't read his responses. He actually had to answer questions, and he wasn't doing such a good job because he has no freaking idea what he's doing. He is an embarrassment. He is pathetic. Coming to the end of my show, I know you can't wait for the next one. And by the way, subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Hi, I'm Maria of My Clean Home Services. Been in business for 5 years now. I specialize in residential and I also do commercial. If you need any references, I can provide that for you upon request. You can give me a call at 954-520-4282 if you have any questions. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Hi, welcome to Muscle Beach, located at 501 East Atlantic Avenue, Delray Beach. We'd like you to join us for some of the finest, hand-picked, shipped daily Prince Edward Island mussels, along with the freshest seafood Delray has to offer.